Welcome to the Home Group Podcast, where we discuss everything addiction, recovery, mental health. I am Flip.
And I am Luke. Our generation of men, you're not allowed to have feelings.
We're going to talk about things that are uncomfortable, things that are scary, because when you talk about it, you take away its power.
The only thing that's going to keep me clean is me not wanting to be who I was then.
We was in the trenches, now look how we out here ballin'. Popped up in the max, now we flooring in the fall.
Welcome to another episode of the Home Group Podcast. I am Flip, clean date April Fools 2016.
And I'm Luke, clean date October 11th, 2017.
Nailed it! Wow. You did it.
I did it.
There it is.
Just like that.
That's a wrap.
I'm
That's
cured.
what you said last take.
I'm cured.
Yep. Barbados.
All right, cool.
See you later.
Mom, I made it. Yep, I'm on my way.
Okay, so super excited. You got some statistics we discussed.
Yeah.
Crazy. Can't wait to get into that.
Yeah.
Before we do, life check-in.
Yeah. So last night,
Okay.
I go to bed a little bit late.
Mm-hmm.
I'm laying in bed, and
What time?
Maybe about 12:30.
Okay.
I got the fake fireplace on Netflix.
Like
Snap,
that.
crackle, pop.
Yeah.
You know, the ambiance is just
Perfect for slumber.
tits, dude.
Yeah.
So I drift off
Mm-hmm.
into dreamland, and I get woken up by a voice, and it says, "Wake up, motherfucker." And my initial reaction is, we're getting robbed,
Yeah.
and
This is it.
this is it.
Yeah.
They're going to take all my sneakers.
Of course.
So I open my eyes, and it's my psychotic yet beautiful Puerto Rican girlfriend.
Okay.
And she's in my face.
Yep.
She goes, "Hey, the bedroom door was locked, and I had to break in. So I went in your wallet, and I grabbed a random card out of your wallet. And guess what? It was a hotel key card." Yeah.
So what's the first thing you did?
The first thing I did,
Yeah.
I died.
Okay.
Then I came back from the afterlife, and I
Okay.
said, "Yeah, that was from when I was in Tallahassee, remember?" And she got embarrassed, and she walked away.
Yeah.
But I thought she was going to get a knife or a machete or something.
Yeah.
So I haven't slept.
Okay.
I slept about 20 minutes last night.
Yeah.
And, yeah, so that's where I'm at right now.
Like Chris Tucker in the chicken coop in Friday?
Yeah.
Hearing noises?
Yeah.
Tweaking?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is she here?
Probably. She's probably right outside the window.
Okay. Cool.
That's it.
Cool.
Thanks for joining us for another episode.
Cool.
Wanda's the best. Wanda for president.
Wanda. Vote Wanda.
Yay. Okay.
Yeah, what do you got going on, Flip?
I
You look tired.
I'm exhausted.
Are you?
I'm so tired.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm glad that the camera isn't closer, because you would be able to see the double-sided tape I have on my eye sockets holding my eyelids open. So my beautiful wife, okay, came up with a game plan. We got 2 kids, 7, 3.5. Okay? My 7-year-old son had, until he was 6, a mattress on the floor in our bedroom, which we called his tiny bed. Now, that wasn't his main sleeping domain. He had a very nice bed in his bedroom. He just refused to sleep in it. Okay? Now we have this house. The bedrooms are upstairs. The bedrooms are so close. There's nothing to be afraid of.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know if you lived like I did. When I was a kid, my parents were on the opposite side, and there was no late night TVs and all this crazy. He has an astronaut that shines constellations.
Yeah, my parents just let me sleep in the shed.
The best I had in high school, I had some glow in the dark stars.
Those are my favorite.
Oh God!
You put them on the fan blades.
Yeah.
I'm going through a wormhole every night.
Amazing, right?
Okay. Yeah.
So she has decided that my 3.5-year-old daughter, my princess, needs to be sleeping in her bed on her own.
Yeah.
Right? Which, I will say, I don't enjoy laying in bed with her until she falls asleep every night.
Every time
right?
I call you at night, I'm like, "What are you doing, dog?"
Trying to get Ella to go to sleep.
I'm reading red one fish, two fish, red fish, blue fish for the 27th time.
You know, and so my wife concocted this plan that March 6th is the start date
Hard date.
of she's sleeping in her room by herself, right? And so she sets my daughter up, light on, TV on, she's in bed, she's got everything. She's like, no, she's good, she's gonna sleep in her bed, right? And then my wife proceeds about 37 seconds after this conversation to go night-night. Dead to the world, okay? Dead to the world, okay?
Yeah.
So 9:30 rolls around. Daddy. 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 I shuffle in there. So what's going on? She said, what was that noise? So what noise? That noise. What was that? I said, I don't know what you're talking about. Lay in bed. Okay. I'll go back.
Yeah, dude, kids think that they're little tiny investigators, you know what I mean? Like, they gotta know everything that's going on.
They don't know.
Yeah.
They don't know about the real life
Yeah.
stuff that we had to endure.
Yeah.
What? What?
To start. You know what I mean?
What?
Well, just to start.
What are you talking about?
You know what I mean?
No. I was referring to like saying Candyman in a dark bathroom 3 times.
Oh. Yeah, no.
The Boogeyman? Candyman?
Yeah, no, but I was just saying, like, you know, that's just like some, you know, one thing. Go ahead.
Okay. So, 10:15 rolls around.
Yeah.
Daddy. Daddy. I shuffle in there. I'm like, Ella, I'm really tired. I gotta be up early in the morning. What's going on? It's a commercial. Okay. What do you want me to do about it? I don't control the airwaves. I'm sorry. Do you want me to turn the TV off? No. No. I'll lay down. Okay. 11 o'clock. I'm literally in bed like this. Right?
Waiting for the ball to drop.
I hear banging. I get up. I walk in there. She has turned her bedroom into a fine dining establishment. Okay? She's got teddy bears, Barbies set up, and she is serving them meals.
The whole venue.
At 11 p.m.
Yeah, she's got a restaurant to run, dude.
She wasn't trying to hear what I was having to say. I was embarrassing the guests.
Yeah.
I was making her look real bad.
I mean, to her, dude, you're like OSHA coming
Absolutely.
in there. You know what I mean? You're like a food critic or something. She told all of her workers, like, listen, he's going to be coming in here pretty soon. We're making a lot of noise. He's going to be coming in here.
Yeah.
Just listen, everybody, just act casual. Just keep it cool.
Yeah.
Just don't worry about him.
Yeah.
He'll be out in a second.
So, this is 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
Right? I said, Ella, you gotta get in bed. Enough is enough. Right? She said, whatever. I came unglued. I said, okay, whatever. Get your whatever behind in the bed. This party's over. The Barbies, the food, everything on the ground. I shut the light off, shut the TV off, lay down, and had to lay in there till she went to sleep.
Yeah.
Okay? That was Monday. Then we go into Tuesday. Same exact thing. Same exact thing. Except it was 10:30 when I finally tapped out and just laid in there. You know what I mean? Because I just can't do it anymore. I came home tonight. My wife said, "Are you okay?" I said, "No, I'm not.
Not at all.
I'm exhausted." I said, "So I appreciate what we're trying to do here. I'm tapping out tonight. I can't do it." And I've been asleep for the last 3.5 hours.
Yeah.
So there's that. So I'm
Nice.
catching up on some Z's.
There you go.
And recording a podcast.
Yeah. You're sleeping right now.
Yeah. I have no idea what I'm saying. Okay? No idea. No idea what's going on. So there's that. All right. So enough about that. We coached the basketball game. That's why I didn't get to go into rehab with you on Monday night. Coached the basketball game.
Yeah, it was a good one, too.
At least yours was. The basketball game was horrible. Absolute nightmare.
It always
Parents
is.
fighting.
It always is.
Kids crying, but it's sports. So I
Yeah,
was
that's
sad.
cool that you can do that, though.
Oh, man. That's the gifts of recovery.
I actually talked about that, and I checked in on your boy. He was sitting in the back.
How's
I said,
he doing?
Hey, man, Flip wouldn't let me not check in on you.
Yeah.
He said, man, I'm doing good, man. I really appreciate. Afterwards, he was like, I really appreciate that, man, because, I wasn't planning on saying nothing.
Of course. There's always one. There's always at least one that, for whatever reason, grabs my attention, and I like to check in on him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so I appreciate you
I think
doing
he's
that.
going to do good, man.
I have a good feeling about him, man.
Those are some good dudes in there.
I love it. You know what I mean? I went through there twice, dude. I love that place.
Yeah, the Just for Today was about not being able to hold on to old ways of deceiving ourselves, which was pretty dope. I had a lot to share on that.
As a matter of fact, I heard you called out our buddy Jack, because he's the king of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, I know. He told me. He told me.
Yeah.
So, all right, we got some statistics. Super excited about this
Yeah, I
because
got some stats.
when you hear these stats, it's insanity.
Yeah.
It's insanity. The world. So listen, here's the thing, right? Being clean and trying to navigate anything is crazy at times. It is a roller coaster. Every little hurdle, everything, like, it is just absolutely crazy, right? Now you take the world that we live in now.
It's completely different.
I gotta be honest with you, dude. Like, if I was just getting clean right now, in this day and age, and it's not like I've been clean. I mean, I've been clean almost 7 years, coming up on 7 years, in a few weeks.
That's big.
God willing. I know.
That's big. So
I know. But, like, it is crazy, the world that we live in.
Yeah.
Stats, hit me.
Okay.
Actually,
So,
sorry to cut you off. What got you looking into these stats?
honestly, I was flipping through YouTube, and I saw Dr. Phil, who's like a really big advocate for this type of stuff right now.
Yeah.
And he was on Joe Rogan podcast,
Okay.
and he was just talking about this epidemic, bro, that nobody's talking about. And I said, you know what? Let me pull this up, because it's something that is really close to everybody in the rooms. It touches everybody, and not a lot of people in the world were even aware of it.
Yeah.
But I know we were. In our circles, we were.
Yeah.
Because it's prevalent,
Absolutely.
always. And it's getting worse and worse every year. So, at the height of COVID,
Okay.
June 2020 through June 2021,
Okay.
the fentanyl epidemic killed twice as many people from the ages of 18 to 45 than COVID.
That's wild.
At the height of COVID, dude.
That's wild.
Yeah, bro. And nobody was talking about it. Everybody's wearing masks and talking about vaccines. How can we stop this, right? Nobody's talking about it.
Huh.
I only know one person that passed away from COVID. And it was a big one. It was my mom.
Yeah.
I can't even count it on all my fingers and toes how many people have died from fentanyl that I know.
It's crazy when you say it, because you were not hearing about any of that stuff in the news. As it is now, and I'm not a big news watcher, right? But you're not really hearing about fentanyl. You might hear, they might do like a 5-minute story on like a big news broadcast once a week, maybe. But during that time, all I was hearing was Fauci this and Fauci that, and take this and don't take this, and oh, this store is gonna have toilet paper tomorrow, and you know what I mean? like crazy shit like that was being spewed, right?
Yeah.
Which brings me to my next point. You would think the media would sink their teeth into something like this because this is negative, and that's what they thrive on.
Push it under the rug.
But they don't thrive on positivity. They thrive on the negative, and this is, I mean, to kill, because they acted like COVID killed more people than
Anything.
ever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they went through all of these lengths and all of these companies pushing out vaccines. And,
Yeah.
I mean, crazy shit. I was telling you earlier that I was watching a basketball game, and they have like a play of the game, right? Well, in the basketball game, they have a shot of the game, right? And they said, shot of the game brought to you by Moderna.
Yeah.
And I wasn't even, like, I had the TV on, but I was on my phone, and I peeked up and I said, no, that can't be right. So they're pushing that, but this is obviously a much bigger issue.
It's huge.
That's affecting, and not that COVID didn't affect young people, because it did, but that was primarily affecting older people.
Right.
Which is still bad.
It's still bad.
But when you're affecting 18 to 45?
Our future. The leading cause of death between 18 and 45. 21,000 COVID deaths. 40,000 deaths from fentanyl overdoses. It was like 20,000 overdoses in like 2019, and it has went up by like 200% every year. I mean, we just recently broke 100,000, over 100,000 ODs, deaths from fentanyl. So, 2 milligrams is a fatal dose. Some pills have 5 milligrams.
So,
In
2.5
them.
times.
Bust them in half.
Still
night.
dead.
Still lights out.
Yeah.
80 to 100 times stronger than morphine. Okay, so I'm not into conspiracy theories.
Okay.
But they were touching in on it a little bit.
Do I need to grab my tinfoil hat?
Maybe.
Okay. I'm with
Maybe
you.
grab mine.
Okay.
Fentanyl is manufactured in China.
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
From there, it's sent down to the cartels.
Yep. In Mexico.
I don't want to say which one because I'm terrified.
Yep.
And like I said,
Rightfully
my girl's
so.
Puerto Rican. They might have an in.
Yep.
Next time she wakes me up, it might be the last time.
Yep.
So it's transported there,
Yep.
however they get it there. It's pressed there, and it's brought into the U.S. The DEA went and busted one of these, like, pill operations or whatever, this manufacturing plant. And they got a bunch of pills, right? Pressed counterfeit pills. Not like fentanyl pills.
Yeah.
These are counterfeit pills.
So, like, painkillers and Xanax.
Xanax, oxycodone,
Yeah.
Dilaudid, all stuff that people will take if they're dope sick. What they got out of there, they said, was about 10% of what would get into the U.S. They only got 10% of the full supply. Yeah. And they said what they got was enough to kill every single person in the United States. Jeez. Enough fentanyl to kill every single person in the United States.
That's scary, dude.
Yeah, so not only that, but they said that in a month's time, they were manufacturing 70 million tablets.
You said an interesting statistic when we were on the phone discussing this earlier. It, like, half the pills they seized had
40%. Yeah, 40% of the pills that they seized had fatal doses.
So it is truly flipping a coin.
It's flipping
with your
a
life.
coin.
For your life.
You're putting 3 rounds into a 6-shooter and playing roulette.
So, God,
it's crazy, bro.
And I think, right? It's sad, right?
It is.
Because addiction, while it is more openly discussed now than it ever has been, right? The only time you heard anything about drugs when I was a kid was the old commercial, like, oh, if you smoke marijuana one time, this is going to be your brain.
This
and it was
your brain on drugs.
An egg sizzling in a pan, right?
Yeah.
That was about the extent of it, right?
Yeah.
And there definitely wasn't people openly talking about being an addict, right?
No, not at all.
And so I think we've kind of gotten to a place where we can discuss it, But this is an issue that, like, has to get put on the grand stage.
Bro, I know where I was at in my addiction, and it didn't matter if you told me that it was going to get me well. I was going to do it, bro. You could tell me that there is a fatal dose of fentanyl in there. I was going to do it to get well.
Yeah.
And guess what? If I died and they brought me back, I'm going right back.
Yeah.
It's insanity, and it's sad, and it terrifies me to think, like, damn, dog, like, these dudes are out there still living the same way that I was living, and I know for a fact that if they got it, they're going to do it, bro.
Well, when I was up north and when I got hooked on heroin, right? And coming from here, where when I was in high school, it was the pills, right?
Right.
It started with the Vicodins and the Lortabs and the Percocets, right? And then we worked our way up to the Oxys and Roxys and all that, right? To up there, it's powdered heroin. Like, that's you can't find pills up there, right? And so I got hooked on heroin, and they had stamp bags, and the Frank Lucas movie had just came out.
That blue magic.
Somebody was stamping blue magic bags, and it was killing people.
Oh,
Me
Lord.
and the crew that I ran with went on the hunt to find the blue magic because we knew it was strong.
Yeah, we got to get that.
Yeah, because we were all day, everyday users.
Right.
So we needed the strong shit.
Yeah.
Not even contemplating, like, listen, like, these people are telling us that it's gonna kill us.
Yeah.
And that's what we're on the hunt for.
Right.
And people that are not addicts don't understand unless you've lived it. And that's why I tell the guys all the time, I'll ask them, I'll say, who's dope sick? And if they raise their hands, I'm like, all right, well, you got an excuse for a little longer. And I say that because for me, if I'm dope sick, there is no ifs, ands, or buts. I'm getting high no matter what.
I'm not even getting high. I'm getting
Well.
Right.
But I'm doing whatever I can to obtain my drugs and do my drugs.
Absolutely. 100%.
Doesn't matter. I don't care about the consequences. Don't care about the repercussions. I need this, and this is what is going to happen.
Yeah.
And so nowadays, I mean, that's 40% of what they obtained. You know what I mean?
Flipping a coin, man.
And it's crazy because it's not only in the pills.
Right.
They're putting it in Coke.
Oh, yeah. Another stat. Right. 75% of the deaths, Coke deaths.
That's wild.
75% of Coke overdoses that resulted in death were laced with fentanyl.
Well, we lost a couple celebrities because of that.
Right.
My dude from The Wire.
Yeah. Mac Miller, too.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
50% of methamphetamine deaths. I didn't even know you could die off of meth.
Yeah.
They're dying. They're lacing the weed nowadays, bro. Like, nothing's
Why?
safe, bro. We made it out just in time, but it makes me sad for everybody else that's still out there, dog.
And so, you know, I think part of when we had originally discussed doing this podcast, right? It was for a number of reasons, right? One, it was to bring awareness. Two, we felt like, at least in our general market, there really wasn't much like it, right? Because a lot of the recovery podcasts that I've listened to, right, are, and I don't knock anybody. If you're sharing a message, hats off to you.
By all means, share it.
But a lot of it's hard to follow because it's very monotone, it's very mundane. And one thing that we wanted to do was kind of keep it light, you know what I mean? Share some laughs.
Make it approachable.
Make it you know, easy for anybody to digest.
Right.
Right? But like, this is scary. You know what I mean? Like, where are the people that were like so gung-ho, like all the big wigs, you know what I mean, in government, that were so gung-ho about COVID and doing this and doing that? Like, why is it you think they're not talking about this?
I don't know. These stats came from this dude, Greg Murphy.
Yeah.
He's a U.S. rep for the North Carolina 3rd Congressional District. Yeah. And I know that because I wrote it down.
Yeah.
I don't know, dude.
Let me ask
I
you.
don't know. I think COVID just kind of blinded everybody, dude. It was so weird, and it's so crazy because, like, I wasn't really even out of prison for the lockdown.
Yeah.
I was still locked up. When I came out, it was a completely different ball game, dude. I went in, the world was straight. I came out, it was like I was walking out of a prison into another prison.
Yeah.
And everybody was just getting off of lockdown. But, I mean, I've talked to some people, and, you know, they told me, like, I thought it was the end of the world.
Well, you know, I know they did talk some about how the depression numbers
Right.
were rising during COVID because
Right.
people were locked down and
But
stuff
they don't
like that.
talk about what that leads to.
And that's the biggest thing, right? And this is my biggest thing, right? When I talk to people, and especially when I talk to people that don't know about addiction, right? They think it starts with partying and just spirals out of control. They don't understand the drugs and alcohol are a side effect, right? That the issue is, like, for me, it's a thinking issue, right? So, like, I have to try to rewire my brain because my fight or flight instinct was broken.
Right.
And anytime I didn't feel comfortable, I didn't have self-esteem, self-worth, I needed help fitting in, I didn't feel comfortable in my own skin, I didn't feel right, and so I needed to get something that was going to make me feel better, right? That was going to make me feel normal and not really care, right? And so that isn't a drug and alcohol problem. That's a me problem.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's why I'm not just surrounding myself with people that are trying to stay away from drugs and alcohol. I'm trying to surround myself with people that are trying to be better human beings, right? And that's the name of the game for me. Because I've learned that, yes, I'm a drug addict. If you give me drugs, I turn into the fucking Tasmanian devil, right? And I'm tearing everything up.
Yeah.
Until I end up in handcuffs.
Yep.
And that's it, right?
Till a hurricane comes through.
So, I'm also not trying to live life in a state of constant worry or depression. And that's why, like, I worked on myself, right? And I did things to work on my self-esteem and my self-worth and, you know, being comfortable in my own skin and, you know, my problem with being brutally honest with people and all of these things that I struggled with in life. But there are so many people out there that aren't forced to look at themselves. When they act out, they don't end up in jail like you or I.
No.
Right? The problem is now those people are affected too.
Right.
Because somebody who may not be a drug addict, who wants to go on a bachelor party, right, to Vegas with his boys, and they're all normal. They're not drug addicts. They might drink on the weekends or whatever, you know what I mean? And they go out and it's this dude's last night, and, you know, they might get a little blow, and they do a key bump, and next thing you know, they're dead.
Sayonara.
Right? So you're affecting them now.
Yeah, with the kids too. Like, you know, a lot of these kids don't have the tolerance that some of these drug addicts that have.
How old were you when you first tried drugs?
I think I was like 12 or 13.
I was 13 years old.
Yeah.
The first time that I tried drugs.
Yeah, I think I smoked weed for the first time when I was like 10 or 11.
Yeah.
Like 10.
It started with weed at 13, right? I got in trouble and I got arrested at 13, and that scared me straight for a couple years. And I started smoking at 16 and was an everyday smoker, and it just progressed and progressed and progressed. And next thing you know, I'm 98 pounds.
Yeah, soaking wet.
Shooting dope.
Shooting dope in a dumpster behind an Asian bathhouse.
You with the Asian bathhouse?
Huh. Did I say that before?
Yeah.
Did I?
Yeah, on an episode that probably isn't going to get aired.
Perfect.
Yep.
Well, thanks for bringing it up.
Well, people need context. People need context. Okay, so we've identified, right, the problem.
Yeah, how do we fix it? What do you do?
You know, I mean, what can you do, right? The only thing that you can do,
Is bring awareness.
that's it.
Yeah.
That's it, right? Because there is too much money at play with pharma, with big pharma, right? They're not going to stop making pills, right? And so the reality, I've seen pictures of the pressed pills and
They're spot on, bro.
identical.
Yeah, they're spot on.
So it's not, you can't stop making pills because there
I've
are people,
seen them in person.
there are people that do need medication, right? The problem is that number is far smaller than the number of drug addicts seeking that same medication.
Right.
So we can bring awareness, right? We can talk about it.
Just chip away at the block.
You know, I remember being a kid and my uncle, who when we moved to Florida, we lived with him and my aunt. He was the deputy chief of a police department, right? And he used to tell me, and I don't know why, I don't know if this was ever actually a thing or if it was like a wives' tale. I think it's a little too dark to be a wives' tale, but you know how, like, don't sit too close to the TV, your eyes will go crossed, right?
Yeah. Don't watch your
But
food while
I
it's
remember
cooking.
every Halloween, there would be something different to watch out for. And I don't know why I remember this one specifically, but I'm 7 years old. I'm my son's age, right? He sits me down. He said, listen here. He said, I need you to be on the lookout when you're out there trick-or-treating. If you see any Superman tattoos, don't touch them. Because people are poisoning the Superman tattoos.
What?
And there was a couple...
Poison them with what?
I don't know. And it could have been...
You were looking, though.
It could have been drugs.
You were looking.
It could have been drugs.
Yeah, but when he said that, you were like, oh, man, for sure, definitely. And then you're out there like...
Yeah.
You're
I'm holding my bag open. They put Snickers in. I'm like, hey, you got any like tattoos or stuff? Maybe like
Yeah.
Superman tattoos?
Hey, my name's Clark Kent. How's it going? You got any tattoos? Stick-on tattoos or anything?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Hey, I really appreciate this king size Snicker bars. I was really hoping you had like some, tattoo.
Yeah.
You know what I
Faster
mean?
than a speeding bullet. Oh, it's a bird. It's a plane.
You know what I mean?
It's Superman tattoos.
I was just really wanting some Superman tattoos, right? But so like they had things like that, and they could have been drug related back in the day. You know what I mean? Could have been his acid or like you know what I mean?
I mean that makes sense.
Yeah, and that was just a way for them
Why
to
would-
distribute.
why-
I don't know.
With somebody.
But I also think that that's too dark and sinister to like make up. It's not like, hey, if you sit too close to the TV, your eyes are gonna go cross.
What's up with that, dude?
What?
What's up with the Halloween candy thing? Because I feel like that's always been a thing.
It's always a thing.
And there's like, watch out for the razor blades and the like. Where's the group that's putting this operation together, bro? Like, who is the underground razor blade Snickers group that's fucking trying to?
Well, and the other thing is like, what I always found interesting is, what does that person have to gain, right? Because it's not like, for instance, if you try to prank somebody, right? Yeah. Like if you walked out of this room and you were like, "Oh, I'm gonna scare him."
Yeah.
You want to see my reaction.
Yeah, and then you.
But with the Halloween candy, like you don't get to see.
That's like his name was Robert Paulson type shit, dude. Like, you know, like evil, diabolical mastermind. That's like some Joker shit.
Yeah.
Some people just want to watch the world burn.
Okay, so let me take this one step further. Okay. This has always been a thing.
Yeah.
Right? The Halloween candy.
Yeah.
Every single year.
Every year it's something
Make sure
new.
you look through your candy. If there's anything that's unopened, don't touch it.
Yeah.
Right? It's always something, right?
Yeah.
Because they're worried about people's safety. Young people's safety. So why is this not a thing?
Right.
Why is the fentanyl thing not a bigger thing?
Well, dude, I think fentanyl hit the big stage actually last year.
Yeah, but it's not.
The Halloween stage. I think so. I think it made its debut, bro. I think there were
Pixie sticks.
I think it was like fake like Skittles, like Fentanittles. You know what I mean? I think it was like Fentanyttles. Yeah, dog.
Nah.
Yeah. I think that's what they were saying.
So, but I mean, every year there's a news story, right? And so, like, this is, in my opinion, this is an epidemic.
Yeah.
The drug abuse, drug use is an epidemic, right? And so, now, to take it a step further, right? What can you do, right? You can bring awareness, okay? That'll work for people that don't do drugs on a normal basis, right?
Right.
My thing, and something that we had talked about previously that we'll revisit, right, is making it okay to have the mental health conversation, right? And don't get me wrong, it is way more acceptable nowadays to talk about things like that, right? But that's, in my eyes, the only way to slow this down, because again, like we've agreed on, the drugs and the alcohol are not the problem. It's an individual problem. It's a thinking problem, right?
Yeah.
And those things need to get addressed, right? So what does that look like, right? In a perfect world, more counselors in schools, more therapists in schools, more open conversations from parents.
That's a big part of
More
it.
education?
The parents, that's going to be a big part of it. A lot of parents, they see their kid getting into something and they kind of don't know how to address it, right?
Yeah.
Like, most parents are normies.
Yeah.
They don't have the knowledge that people that in the program are equipped with.
Yeah.
So they don't have those tools that they can pass on to their kids. So I think
And
that,
not to
that's going
mention,
to be a big...
it's a completely different game from when they were kids to kids now.
Right.
You know what I mean? A lot of them, like when they were kids, there weren't oxys floating
they were
around.
just smoking some grass.
Just smoking some grass, listening to some Jimi Hendrix.
Some Jimmy.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Eating a handful of shrooms on a fucking Wednesday night. You know what I mean? But, so, right, what does that look like in a perfect world? I think there needs to be a certain amount of education available to the general public about what to look for, right? Just like when we were in school, they had sex education, right? Trying to make kids aware, and it was burned into my vision. I remember seeing some pictures that I wish I didn't see of some genitalia. That was all the way fucked up.
Too much. Oh, you talking about like the blue waffle type stuff?
That shit on his lip has some shit on his lip.
Ooh,
you know what I mean?
Oof.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
So like,
it's crumb diddly umptious.
Right? So again, this is just the thing that I can't wrap my head around. Since my parents had sex education, right? And so we have sex education. Now there's sex education now, right? However, right? Let's take it a step further with sex education. You need to teach kids how to be smart with their private moments with the use of technology. Right?
Big time.
Right? I'm deathly afraid for when my kids get older, right? Because listen, I remember what it was like to be in high school. I remember. You know what I mean? I remember parties I went to. The thing is, we didn't have...
Bro, middle school's the new high school now.
We didn't have smartphones. The coolest thing I had in high school...
so old, bro.
You're in shambles. You're falling apart.
Just wheel me out of here, bro. Bring in a stretcher.
The coolest thing I had in high school for a phone was I had a Nokia with the light up battery pack.
Ooh.
And I remember when the first ringtones came out and I had Bubba Sparks Ugly, but it wasn't the lyrics, it was just a beep boop beep boop. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
But nowadays, we have to have these conversations. And yes, I think a huge responsibility falls onto the parents' shoulders, right?
Right.
But they spend more time at school than they do at home. Right?
Yeah, but these kids aren't even, like, in school anymore, bro. Like, they're not... Bro, it's so weird, just the socializing and everything. It's all on the phone. It's all on a computer. Like, it's...
We need to shut down a mainframe.
Like Skynet?
Shut down a mainframe, dude.
What does that mean?
You know what it means.
What are you talking about right now, dude?
I think we need to pause the Matrix.
Yeah.
Okay, that's recode some stuff. You know what I mean? Because the way that I see it, I'm scared for my kids.
You need to restructure the educational system.
Wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
You know, they were talking about that with Jocko.
Love Jocko.
Love Jocko, right?
He's an animal.
And he talks about how much training and how much education goes into it. And he was critical of people that were critical of the police departments, right? And he said, listen, this is what you need to understand. Any Joe Schmo can want to go get their license, and they go through a 6-week course, and they get their badge, and they throw them in a correctional facility for a year, and then they're on the streets. There's no continuing education.
Yeah.
There's no... Like, if I was in control of it, I would make a continuous education program on how to handle situations and how to do things, right? And it was so smart when he said that. When he said it, I immediately thought about how the schools need to, instead of like, oh, let's not talk about drugs. Let's not talk about kids being responsible with technology or, right. You know what I mean? Yeah, what they're ingesting.
We don't want to bring that up because we don't want to put that at the forefront of their minds and then, feel like we're the ones that, got them involved in some shit. Like, no, it's going to happen. You have to make them aware of this shit.
You have to have these conversations.
Bro, I heard my daughter talking to some kid for the first time. And, bro, I turned into a Navy SEAL. I'm talking about I was about to rappel in, upside down, Spider-Man through the window, and listen to her talk to this dude, bro. He sounded like he was 37 years old. And I'm like, okay, well, everybody's going to die now in the whole world.
Yeah.
I go up in the room, and she's like, what? Like, she already hung up with him. She's like, what? And I was like, what are you talking about? What? What was that? What are you talking? I was doing TikTok. You were talking to your TikTok, and your TikTok was talking back?
Oh, my God.
Bro, I almost started crying.
I remember this because you called me, and you said, I'm going to need you to bomb me out of jail.
Yeah.
I'm going to need you to bomb me out.
Yeah, bro, I was terrified. Yeah. Not that I'm terrified that she's, not smart enough to get herself out of a situation like that or just not get herself into a situation like that. It's that this dude sounded like he was an older gentleman.
Yeah.
Okay. And she was 10 years old.
Yeah.
Try to explain to her like it's real out here. These dudes will do anything to try to gain your trust, and then before you know it, you're sneaking out at night, going to meet up with them to do what, and then you're missing.
Yeah, I know. Because I take the kids to school in the morning, and I drop Jordan off at his school, and they have kids like in 4th and 5th grade that like open the car doors and help the kids get out.
Yeah.
And there was this boy, he's probably in 5th grade, right? And they're so polite. Like, have a nice day. And they close the door, you know what I mean?
Yeah, they're like little Chick-fil-A workers.
Yeah. My pleasure.
My pleasure, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And he closes the door, and my daughter goes, hey, Daddy, what's his name?
You're grounded. You're grounded for life. His name was... See you in 21 years when you come out of your room.
So I drop Jordan off alone now.
Yeah.
I leave my daughter home alone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding. I don't leave her home alone. But it...
We're recording.
Yeah. You know.
Yeah, we don't...
Yeah.
I would... Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I don't think... I would never leave any of my kids home alone.
You know. Exactly. So... I mean, listen, and the whole point of this podcast, right? Obviously, recovery is the main part, right?
Right.
But we want to focus on life issues. We want to focus on mental health. Yes, that's my daughter calling my name, even though everybody knows that I'm recording a podcast.
Yeah.
Right?
I'd love for her to just come in here, though.
Where's Daddy?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So these are the things
I
that...
need you to read her a bedtime story.
Yeah, and I get to do these things, right? And
It's dope, bro.
And I mean, these are the gifts of recovery.
Yeah.
Yes, monetary things are nice. Yes, money in the bank's nice. Yes, being able to go to the gas station and put the pump in and put the little thing on so it just keeps pumping.
To walk away from the pump money.
Yeah. That was something that was never...
You kidding me, bro? I had to walk away from the pump to go bum some change so I could put it into the pump.
I would get a $500 paycheck from my cooking job, and I would go to the dope man, and by the time everything's said and done, I'd be at the gas station. I'd be like, let me get $1.87 on pump one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I'd be stealing food from that same gas station.
Right.
To eat. So.
Right. And it's crazy because you worked at a spot that you cooked at, and you burned out of there so quick with your paycheck, you forgot to eat.
Yeah.
So you had to steal some food from the gas station.
Yeah. Well, I'm not eating when I'm dope sick.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Who does
so,
that? True.
That kind of stuff is cool. But the true gifts of recovery are these little things, right? Yeah. But this is a scary world we live in, right? There's things that get talked about too much. There's things that aren't getting talked about enough, right?
Yeah.
And
I think also we need to talk about quicksand.
Okay. Yes, baby.
Hola, ella.
What are you doing? You came all the way down here, and you know I'm recording a podcast to ask me if I could get you a ponytail.
She doesn't know what a podcast is, bro. She thinks a podcast is a stuffed animal,
Mommy
bro.
Doing? Is Mom sleeping?
No, she's doing homework.
Ella, come over here real quick.
Come here.
Come here. It's
here,
okay.
Is the light freaking you out? Yeah.
Yeah. Me
it's
too.
Bright.
It's freaking me out too.
Yeah. All right. Let me wrap this up. I need about 10 minutes and I'll get you a ponytail, okay?
I'll go get it.
Okay. Thank you. I love you. And that's that. Right? Let's...
Beautiful way to close.
Are we closing?
I don't know. Where are we at?
We're there.
We're there. That's a beautiful way to close.
I think so. Link in the description for all the social medias.
Yeah.
Everything. Twitter,
Email,
Instagram, email. Listen, super important. Something that we've been doing, but we want to hear from you is topics, right? Questions. Anything, right?
Burning desires.
I mean, it literally doesn't...
Anything on your mind.
It doesn't matter whether you have a day clean, whether you're not an addict, but you know somebody that is and you don't know how to handle the situation. Whatever it is, because we want to talk about it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the name of the game. We're going to talk about things that are bothering us, things that are uncomfortable, things that are scary. The name of the game is to just bring awareness to everything, right? Because when you talk about it and get it out there, you take away its power. And that's all we're trying to do, right?
I guarantee you there is nothing that you've been through and nothing that you've done that would surprise either of us.
Nothing.
Possibly, a lot of it we've done ourselves.
Oh, guaranteed. A good portion.
A good portion of it.
Yeah. So, our whole goal is, this is not about us, right? This is about us.
Right.
Right? It's not about us. It's about us.
The royal us.
Yeah, and the only way that we can continue and make this happen is we want to hear from you. So, link for the email is going to be in the description. Email questions, right?
That's how they do it.
I know.
Click here for the email.
Yeah. Click there for the social.
Click here for the Halloween candy.
Click there for the next video.
Click over here for the Hot
Okay, there it
You
is.
didn't think I had it in me.
I didn't, but you did. You
I
came
got
strong
it.
with
The
it.
kid still got it.
Absolutely. So, thank you again for allowing us to talk.
Yes.
If you have today, give yourself a higher power round of applause.
Air high five. Psh.
And my favorite part.
What? Flip. Come on, dude. Come on, bro.